The country logged over 20,000 new COVID-19 cases for 3 straight days. It's all systems go for granular lockdown starting Wednesday. Travel restrictions in 10 countries have been lifted. At least 4 areas are now under signal number 1 as the low-pressure area near Mindanao develops into tropical depression Julina. Philippine Airlines files for bankruptcy protection in the United States. And Kobe Paras is the latest Filipino player to join Japan's B-League. Focused and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Kicking off today's newscast with the country logging over 20,000 new COVID-19 cases for the 3rd straight day on Sunday. The country's total caseload is now at 2.08 million, and more than 157,000 of these are active cases. 173 people died from the disease on Sunday, raising the death toll to over 34,000. Meanwhile, some 20,000 patients have recovered, which pushes the total recoveries to 1.88 million. Agusan del Sur's governor is urging the national government to reimpose ECQ in their area. This as COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Davao. Gemma Vansenia with the details.
Due to the overwhelming volume of COVID-19 cases, one of Davao Region's main COVID facility, the Southern Philippines Medical Center, had to put up tents outside their emergency room as extension for their COVID-19 wards. Patients who wished to be admitted had to wait along Dumanlas Road before they could be accommodated. Some non-COVID patients are separated in an open tent in a corner and had to bear the warm weather. The hospital also put up tents outside their OB/GYN departments since they also have pregnant women patients who are positive for COVID-19. Last week, the hospital reached 100% capacity for ICU and ward beds. Thus, they are looking for more areas to be converted as COVID ward. SPMC's chief of hospital said the surge might be due to the new COVID variant.
We assume that itong na nangyari ngayon is really the cause of Delta variant.
Opo.
Kasi ang bilis ng transmission. Kaya puspusan rin kami sa mga paghanap ng areas.
Odan also revealed that their main problem is the shortage of staff.
Marami rin nagkaka-COVID kahit na fully vaccinated. Pero ang maganda lang din doon, it's really mild. Another challenge yung nagre-resign. Not because of COVID, but because of greener pasture, because of work abroad.
Active cases now in Davao region climbed to 13,636, 6,208 of which are from Davao City. In Agusan del Sur, the number of COVID-19 patients are also increasing. Here in Democrito O Plaza Memorial Hospital, all COVID ward and critical care unit beds are occupied, reason why some patients had to be placed outside the emergency room while waiting for vacancy. The hospital also placed tents and beds outside the facility in case more patients will arrive.
It's very hard for us to deal with this kind of situation because all the 5 hospitals being subsidized by the provincial government are already full up to the brim. Ay ginagawa kaming yung old building namin sa Dio Plaza Memorial Hospital ay we repaired it, and that can accommodate up to 100 more beds.
Confirmed COVID-19 cases in Agusan del Sur has climbed to 6,862, prompting the LGU to reimpose more stringent health protocols. Kane also said they are now appealing to the National IATF to elevate them to ECQ status.
This time, na from in-ECQ dapat mag-ECQ na. Kasi nga hindi na mapigilan yung pagdami ng mga kaso at marami pa rin tao na hindi sumusunod sa mga protocols, lalo na sa mga public gatherings.
For News 5, Gemma Vansenia, we are One News.
The DILG says it's all systems go for the shift to a granular lockdown strategy starting Wednesday. That is, of course, if President Duterte approves the proposal to do away with region-wide lockdowns. Interior Undersecretary for Barangay Affairs Martin Dino said various agencies are prepared to make granular lockdowns work. First, he says the DSWD is ready to provide food packs to families that will be affected by the lockdowns. He also says barangay health emergency response teams will be monitoring areas with COVID-positive cases. Finally, Dino reminds the public of PhilHealth's quarantine home package, a program aimed at decongesting hospitals of mild cases.
Ngayon, naglunsad na rin kami ng yung PhilHealth quarantine home package na kung saan hindi mo na kailangan pumunta ng ospital kung mild lang yan. Pagkatapos, basta ipapaalam mo lang sa Barangay Health Emergency Response Team on your barangay, and the barangay will recommend sa PhilHealth na makasama ka dun sa programa nila. Dahil pagka nakasama ka sa programa ng PhilHealth, lahat ng gagastusin mo sa bahay mo, medical at saka kung yung confinement mo ay babayaran ng PhilHealth.
Malacanang has lifted travel restrictions in 10 countries. Starting today, travelers from India, Pakistan, Malaysia, and Indonesia will be allowed to enter the Philippines. But they still need to comply with the country's testing and quarantine protocols. Vice President Leni Robredo questions this decision to lift travel bans, and she says it's strange that other countries are tightening their borders while we are opening up at the time when cases are hitting new all-time highs. Robredo added that the decision to open or close borders should always be based on numbers and pandemic data.
Hindi ko alam kung bakit magtatanggal tayo ng restriction ngayong ang taas-taas ng kaso natin. Okay yung pagbubukas ng ekonomiya kung may kasabay itong pag-protect, di ba? Sa bawat isa sa atin. Pero kung binuksan lang natin for the sake na bubuksan, na wala namang kaakibat na pagsiguro na protektado tayong lahat, ganun yun. Mag-close open tayo na mag-close open. Mm-hmm.
Philippine Airlines has filed its Chapter 11 bankruptcy in the U.S. Now, many people are asking, does this mean they're going out of business? Regina Lay breaks it down for us.
No, Philippine Airlines isn't going out of business. It's also not being split up or being sold to investors, at least not yet. In fact, what the Chapter 11 filing does is it buys the company time to reorganize its finances so that it can remain open for business while unable to pay its debts. The country's flag carrier has been losing money for a few years now, and the COVID-19 pandemic dealt a really heavy blow. In 2020, the airline reported a net loss of 73 billion pesos. So imagine, not only was it not making any money, it also had to keep paying its bills. For example, for aircraft maintenance and leasing. By declaring itself bankrupt, Philippine Airlines got out of paying hundreds of millions of dollars in debt and was also given new funding to keep running. In the US, a few companies have emerged stronger after their Chapter 11 filing. For example, car companies like General Motors and Chrysler, which were hit hard by the 2008 financial crisis. Philippine Airlines says it will have to let go of about 23 planes and cut some long-haul routes, but it will continue to honor all tickets, travel vouchers, refunds, and Mabuhay Miles benefits. It will also continue repatriation flights for OFWs stranded worldwide. Regina Lay, One News.
In other news, the low-pressure area east of Surigao del Norte has developed into Tropical Depression Julina. Because of this, Tropical Cyclone Wind Signal number 1 has been raised over eastern Samar, the Dinagat Islands, Siargao Islands, and the Bucas Grande Islands. TD Julina was last spotted about 300 kilometers east of Giwan Samar, or about 310 kilometers east of Surigao City. It is packing winds of up to 45 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of about 55 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa says this tropical depression is forecasted to move westward or west-southwestward before turning northwest. Julina is set to remain a tropical depression until its potential landfall over northern Luzon by Friday. The latest stop in Kobe Paras' basketball journey is in the land of the rising sun. This as Paras made the jump to join Japan's B-League Niigata Albirex BB. On Sunday, Niigata announced that they have signed the 6'6" forward for its 2021-2022 season. This makes him the 7th Filipino to join the Japan B-League and the first Asian import of the team. Niigata will open their season on October 2 against Kyoto. Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The House Committee on Good Government and Public Accountability will begin its inquiry into the qualifications and methodologies of the Octa Research Group. Opposition coalition Isang Bayan will be launching its youth agenda called Halalan Heroes. And COMELEC is extending the deadline for the transfer of overseas registration until September 30. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.